Hey, I wanted to get on and share a story with you from today. I had my skill session today with my two of my younger groups, the U13s and the U11s. And Monday morning is individual skill development day. And this is where I dedicate 100% of the hour to individual skills, usually in the skating component, because I am a big believer that you can't skate, you can't play in today's day and age. So I love locking in new habits and the right techniques and getting players really familiar on the edges at a young age. It's also so fun to work with this age because you can literally watch them get better throughout the 60-minute session. It's astonishing. It's also fun, obviously, working with the older guys and the juniors and the pros, but you're working on like the last 5-10% at that stage. Like you can literally watch people get better in 60 minutes with the younger groups, and it's so fun to watch. But one thing I shared with them, because sometimes working on your edges, or working on your stride or whatever it is that the coach is asking you to do and the drill he's asking you to do can become monotonous, and sometimes it can be very uncomfortable because you're being asked to do things that you're not good at or you're uncomfortable doing or even feel awkward. Now that's where the key is. The key for anyone, let alone these younger athletes, is to dig in when it feels uncomfortable and to allow yourself the opportunity to personalize your practice, to use deliberate practice to get better. Now, I told them, I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Now, for that group, that made sense. I am a big believer in it is what you do. Like you need to find a good skills coach or you need to find a good instructor. I do believe some drills and instruction are definitely better than others. But once you have found that place, now it's up to the athlete to dedicate themselves to what they're being asked to do. And how do they extract the most out of that practice for them? Every player is different. Every player skates different. Every player is going to have a challenge in one area over another. Now it's up to that player to dig in, to buy in, and to really try and find the extra 2, 3, 4, 5% in the skill that's being asked of them. And now that's the key, because this is where mindset comes in. Because when we aren't good at something or if something feels awkward, we don't want to do it. It's a natural reaction, especially in front of our peers, is to get away from it, to get upset, to maybe not try quite so hard. Now, if we can get away from that idea and we can have a growth mindset about that and they understand that this is my opportunity to personalize my practice. This is exactly where I need to be because I feel uncomfortable. This is where the biggest growth is going to happen. When that's the message they tell themselves, the way they operate is completely different. So I talked to the groups today about that, and I wanted to have their focus and I wanted to have their intention and their buy-in so they could get the most out of what I was asking them to do. And it's amazing when you can lay it out there for a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old what you're expecting of them so they can help themselves. In other words, empowering them to make a good decision. Much more often than not, they make the good decision. It is so awesome to see. So, in other words, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. When I said to them, so how are you doing it? How are you executing this? How are you making it your own? Now, that goes right along with week 2 of my Peak Potential project, which is all about deliberate practice. Finding a goal setting scenario, I call it goal setting 2.0, where you find a goal, where you then analyze what the plan needs to be for this goal, get a strength and weakness, and personalize your practice. I'm a very big believer in personal practice. It doesn't have to be hours upon hours of personal practice, but it does need to be time dedicated to the athlete. You can go out in ice practice and you can personalize that. That's what I was talking about earlier. You can personalize that on ice practice for you if you provide intention to that. But away from the rink, we need to dedicate time to ourselves. What do I need to work on? What specifically do I need? What do I want to improve that I'm already good at? And what is a weakness that might hold me back? In week 2 of my program, I get the players to go carefully through that with a fine-tooth comb, analyze their action steps, and create their 20-minute monster, which I'll dive more into later. But this is a fantastic week, and this is one of the big breakthroughs for a lot of these players, that they leave motivated with newfound discipline, with newfound insight to empower themselves to get better through deliberate practice. So fantastic today. I love the group that I was working with, and if you want to relay that story to your players in a way that makes sense to them, but personal practice is big. Finding the 20, 30 minutes a day for themselves. That's just strictly about them is huge. And also if they can bring that intention to their practices, to their workouts, this is when development just absolutely skyrockets. Hope you guys are having a great week. Oh, and if you are interested in the Peak Potential Project, it's coming up this Monday, another 4-week session, guided session as I call it, where you get the coaching calls with me. Starts on Monday and it'll run for 4 weeks. I just had 6 amazing players come through it. Everyone grew. Everyone is excited for this season, excited to apply this stuff, and it is a great time to get involved. So if you've been sitting on the fence wondering about it, what to do, we've now had over 150 players graduate the program. Yeah, so many testimonials, so many feel-good stories. Get your player involved. Give them the gift of confidence. Give them the gift of mindset, and I'd love to work with them. You can get that in the link below, Up My Hockey on my website, /peak potential. Cheers.